so you didn't say anything. That's the part they can't get over. Sit with that for a second. You didn't fire back. You didn't post the long explanation. You didn't pull people aside to tell your side. You didn't do a single one of the things a person does when they're trying to win. You just went quiet. And somehow that quiet did more damage than anything you could have shouted. Funny how that works. Let me tell you what they expected. Because they did expect something. People always do. They expected you to react. They'd already written the next few scenes in their heads. You'd get emotional. You'd overplay your hand. You'd say the thing you couldn't take back. And then they'd get to turn to each other and go, see what they're really like. That was the plan. That was always the plan. Your reaction was supposed to be the evidence that proved them right, and you just didn't give it to them. You have no idea how much that costs a person. To swing as hard as they swung and hit nothing, to prepare for a fight that never shows up. It leaves them standing there with their fists up, looking around, looking honestly, kind of ridiculous. And here's the thing about people who set a trap and watch you walk right past it. They don't feel relieved. They feel exposed. Because the trap is still sitting there in the open now, and everyone can see it for what it was. You want to know the exact moment it turned? It wasn't loud. It never is. It was some ordinary afternoon, weeks later, when one person, just one, said your name in a room and nobody jumped in to pile on. There was a pause, a small one, the kind of pause where everybody's waiting for someone else to throw the first stone, and nobody does, because the story stopped making sense, because they'd been carrying around this version of you, this convenient little cardboard cutout, and it didn't match anything that was actually happening. You were supposed to be falling apart. You weren't. That's the gap that breaks them. Not your success, your calm. Anyone can be threatened by someone doing well. That's normal. That's easy. They know how to handle that. What they don't know how to handle is someone who got hit and just kept walking, didn't limp, didn't make a show of it, didn't come back around looking for an apology. Because if you're not asking for anything from them, then they have no leverage. None. And people who run on leverage genuinely don't know what to do when it's gone. Think about how much power you handed them every time you used to explain yourself. Every time you said, no, let me clarify. Every time you tried to correct the record, you were telling them the same thing underneath. Your opinion of me matters enough to fight for. That was the currency. That's what they were spending. And one day you just stopped paying. I want to be careful here, because there's a version of this that's just bitterness dressed up as wisdom. And that's not what this is. This isn't about getting them back. If you're still keeping score, you haven't actually left. You've just moved to the cheap seats. No, the real thing, the thing that's actually happening, is quieter than revenge and a lot more permanent. You stop needing the verdict. That's it. That's the whole move. For most of your life, some part of you was waiting for the room to agree that you were right, waiting for the apology, waiting for somebody with authority to bang a gavel and say, yes, this person was telling the truth all along. And while you were waiting, you were theirs. They owned a piece of you, the piece that needed them to say so. And then somewhere, and you might not even remember the day, you stopped waiting. Not dramatically. You didn't announce it. You just noticed one morning that their approval had become this thing you could take or leave, like a coat you forgot you owned. And the second that happened, the game was over. Not because you won it, because you walked off the board. They're still playing, by the way. That's what kills me. They're still down there, still making their moves, still arguing the case to a jury that left the building, building little narratives, testing them out, watching to see if you flinch. And you're not even in the room anymore. You're somewhere else entirely, doing something that actually matters to you, and the occasional report drifts back. Did you hear what they're saying now? And you kind of half listen and go, huh, and then you get back to your life. That detachment, that's the loudest thing you've ever done. They can hear it from across the city. Here's what they're realizing slowly. In the parts of the night they don't talk about, they're realizing they bet on the wrong story. They went all in on you being small. They told everyone. They put their own credibility on the line. Trust me, I know this person. Here's how it's going to go. And it didn't go that way. So now every single person who believed them is quietly recalculating. Not out loud. People never do this out loud. But you can feel a consensus shift the way you can feel weather change before the rain. And the ones who were so sure about you are starting to feel the ground move. And the people who run things, the ones who actually pay attention, they noticed you a while ago. Not because you asked them to. Because the people who matter are watching for exactly one thing. Who keeps their head when there's nothing in it for them to keep it. Who stays solid when staying solid earns them nothing. That's the rarest signal there is, and you've been broadcasting it without even trying. You thought nobody saw those nights you held the line for no audience. Somebody saw. Somebody always sees. They just don't clap, they just remember. So let me give you two things to actually hold on to, because everything else is just noise. First, you don't owe anyone the receipts. You don't have to prove the trap was there. You don't have to walk people through what they did to you, point by point, until they finally admit it. That urge, the urge to be understood, to make them get it, that's the last hook they have in you. Let it go. The people worth keeping already understand. The people who don't were never going to, no matter how perfectly you explained it. Your silence isn't you hiding the truth. It's you no longer auditioning for people who'd already made up their minds. And second, and this one's harder, you don't have to forgive on their schedule. And you don't have to perform the healing for anybody either. There's this pressure, especially now that you're doing better, to come back around all gracious and evolved, to prove you've risen above it. You don't owe that performance to a single soul. You can be completely at peace and still keep the door shut. Those two things are allowed to coexist. Calm is not the same as available. Don't let anyone tell you that moving on means letting them back in. You know what the wildest part is? You're not even angry anymore. Somewhere in all of this, the anger just ran out of fuel. Because anger needs them to matter, and they stopped mattering. What's left isn't rage and it isn't sadness. It's this clean, almost boring kind of peace. The peace of a person who finally put down something heavy they'd been carrying so long they forgot it wasn't part of their body. They'll keep talking. For a while. That's fine. Let them. Every word they spend on you is a word they're not spending on building anything of their own, and that math catches up with people. The ones who can't stop discussing your life are usually avoiding looking too hard at theirs. That's not your problem to solve. You've got somewhere to be. So no, you didn't say a single word. You didn't have to. The silence said all of it. And the best part, the part that's going to sit with them long after they've run out of things to say, is that you're not waiting to see how they take it. You already moved. You're already gone. You're already becoming someone. The old story doesn't even fit anymore. Let them figure out the ending on their own. You stopped reading that book a long time ago.